I'm a realtor and I tell people not to buy all the time. That sounds like terrible business advice, right? But here's the truth. Buying too soon can wreck your finances way faster than renting longer ever will. So today I'm going to walk you through exactly when renting is actually the smarter move, even if you can technically buy, because qualifying for the house and being ready for a house are not the same thing. The number one thing a buyer says that makes me slow them down is this: we will probably move again in 2 to 3 years. If that's your timeline, we really need to talk, because in most markets, you need to plan to stay for 5 to 7 years minimum for buying to make sense. Not 2, not 3, 5 to 7. Otherwise, you're really gambling on appreciation and you do not have a crystal ball. Could you get lucky? Sure, we see it all the time, but I don't build financial strategies on luck, and you should not either. Another thing I hear constantly is renting is just throwing money away. No, it isn't. You are paying for a place to live. You are paying for flexibility. You're paying for someone else to handle repairs, and you're paying for lower financial risk. You're paying for the ability to pivot. That's not throwing money away. That's paying for a service. Buying builds equity. Yes, that is definitely true. It's one of the main reasons buying is a good investment. But it's only that way if you stay long enough. If you buy and sell too quickly, you can wipe out that equity in closing costs alone. So the best case, you break even. Worst case, you're writing a check to sell your house. Now, I've seen it. Now, if someone wants to buy, here's what has to be true for me to feel confident in that buy-in situation. The first rule I have is emergency fund first. You need 3 to 6 months of savings after closing. If buying drains your savings, then you're not ready. Buying a home is not an emergency. It is a planned expense. And I would rather see someone buy with 3% down and keep their emergency fund and put everything into the house and pray nothing breaks, because inevitably something will break. Murphy lives in houses. Rule number 2 is monthly payment comfort. I really like housing it to be around 25% of the take-home pay, not gross, take home, and I really do get nervous at 30%. Anything about that, and I'm asking some pretty serious questions. Lenders sometimes do approve higher. They approve on what you can survive with, and I care about what you can live comfortably with. The third rule that I always try to get people to abide by is stability. If your job, location, or life is uncertain, renting is not failure. It's then strategy. So next, I'd like to talk a little bit about what can happen when people buy too soon, because I can give you dozens of examples. Someone buys, they use their reserves, they use all their savings, they furnish the house with some of that savings, and then the HVAC dies. And now they're stressed, overextended, and they're stuck. Or they buy with down payment assistance and then they have to sell in 2 years because they decided to move, and suddenly they're upside down after closing costs. Now that's the part that HGTV doesn't show you. And that's why I always say buying too soon can be worse than renting too long, just about every time. So let's talk about when you should keep renting. Please keep renting if you don't have an emergency fund. You might move locations soon. Your job feels shaky. Buying would stretch you financially. You're only buying because you feel like you should. Now, I see this one a lot. I'm at the age where I feel like I should own. No, you buy when you're ready, not when society tells you that you should. There are plenty of financially secure, smart adults renting while they build wealth. I see a lot of really strategic renters, as a matter of fact. Some of my favorite clients rent first and buy later. You see it a lot with the doctors in residency, professionals who are relocating. Maybe they are job hopping and location hopping in order to secure more advantageous raises and promotions so they can move location and stay flexible. People saving very aggressively. They rent below their means, they invest the difference, and they build reserves. Then when they do buy, they're in a really powerful position. And that's how you do it. Another thing I want to talk about here are interest rates and then timing and people trying to time the market. Interest rates do change your payment, but they do not change whether or not you're ready to buy a home. And if you cannot afford a comfortable payment now, waiting for rates is not a magic fix. Prices usually move when rates move. Just remember that you don't time the market. you time your personal readiness. So some simple framework here is that renting is smarter when you don't know what the next few years will look like, when you don't have strong savings, when buying would stress you out beyond the point that you can withstand, when you need flexibility. But you should buy if that is something that you want to do when you're planning to stay. You have reserves. The payment on something you can afford feels comfortable. You want to put down roots, not when you're panicking, not when you're pressured, and not when you're stretching. If you're trying to figure out whether you should rent or buy, this is literally what I do all day. So sometimes the right answer is buy, and sometimes the right answer is wait. And both can be smart. Now, if you want help planning out and mapping a plan for your situation, reach out. You can find me at corieburke@gmail.com or save this for when you're closer to making the decision, because the goal isn't just to buy a house, it is to buy it at the right time in your life and make a sound financial decision. I'll see you in the next one.